Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the Sovereign Sisters podcast. It's me, Infinite C.
And the Sovereigness.
And we're back with the other portion of the meal. And today we wanted to come and talk about possessiveness and what that looks like in relationships and what that means for different people, and just kind of talk about what that looks like. So I've always felt a way about possessiveness, especially being a sovereign being, being a sovereign sister. I've never wanted to feel, I'm lying. When I grew up, I didn't want to feel possessed. When I was younger, I thought it was cute for a man to be like, oh, that's mine. That's my piece. Like, you know what I'm saying? Or feel like you belong to someone. You know what I mean? Having that feeling, or having, kind of thinking of things like a fairy tale where, it's you and your man and your children, and that's it. And you belong to each other, and your family is it. And, that's it. And it's just that, just possessiveness, just mine. And as I got older,
Mine?
Mine. And as I got older, and I started to look at things a lot differently, and I started to look at myself and realize like what I really wanted. I realized that I didn't want to be possessed by anyone. Like, even listen to the word, like possession.
Right.
I think of that movie. What's the girl name?
Exorcist.
Yeah, that's what I think of. Like, I don't want to be possessed. What the fuck? Like, I don't want that for myself. And I just realized that as a sovereign being, like, what does that mean? Like, how can I do a relationship without doing a relationship the way that relationships have been taught to me? Right? Like, how do I do a relationship without being possessed by somebody, or me being somebody's possession, like, or me possessing someone else? So I keep saying that word. It just starts to sound weirder the more I say it.
But you know what? That's how I feel about the word worship. Like, I've always felt like that. I remember when we were kids, somebody brought up the word worship, and I was like, I don't like saying that word, because they were talking about something in religious terms. And I was like, no, I don't really want to worship anybody. I don't think that Jesus wants us to worship him, but that's another thing. Go ahead. Sorry.
No. That I've never thought of it, but that does sound a little like worship. I don't know. It sounds like it got a little negative connotation underneath.
Yeah, I've never been a fan of the word worship.
It sounds like warship.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
Warship, like the Vikings and shit, or like never mind, I ain't going there. Anyway, I almost said another type of ship. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
but anyway, what was I saying, child?
Oh my gosh, possession.
Yeah, I was talking about possession, and so basically, kind of redefining what a relationship would look like for me. And I've always kind of had this notion that I don't want to be possessed. I don't want to be possessive over another human being. Like, that doesn't feel right to my spirit. And I was watching the Lauren London interview with Angie Martinez.
Yes.
And they were talking about, a lot of different things, but Lauren went on to say how she was realized, I don't remember her exact words verbatim. Go look at the podcast. It was really good. She was saying something about how you can't be, nobody belongs to anybody.
Yeah.
Like, every person is their own person, and every person deserves to have their own journey. And I resonated with that so deeply, because that's how I feel, and that's how I felt for so long. And I think that with my experiences, it's like, I don't know, it just taught me something different. It just taught me to look at relationships differently, to not be possessed by anybody, and to understand that everyone's on their own path and their own journey, and to respect people as themselves, and not as what I need them to be or want them to be.
Right.
And that's just where I'm at. So what have you had any experiences with, like, feeling possessive over someone, or being possessed by someone?
I can't. I don't feel like anybody I feel like there's nobody who's been in a relationship, or even just dating somebody, that's never felt possessive, or like that person wanted to possess them, like that, like you were their possession. And like you said, when I was younger, it was cute. When I was inexperienced with relationships, it was cute. When I was seeking validation, it was cute. But now I know, like, I don't want you to feel like you have control or anything over my life, especially, and this is the whole thing. I know I'm about to get flamed for this, but we talk about this all the time, you and and I brought it up to a couple other people that I trust, but I mean, I guess I should lay it out there. I feel like marriage is one of those things that's a possessive ideology. Like, marriage is literally two people signing a contract that says you're mine and that's it. Nobody else can come between this. Whereas I just don't feel like love and law go together. I don't feel like, I feel like if you love somebody, you can have a spiritual connection and know, I choose you, you choose me. If there ever comes a time where we don't choose each other anymore, we should be free to walk away without having to have a judge involved, without having to have any type of outside entities involved in our choice, or anything that's holding us together and being like, if you don't want to be together anymore, you got to jump through hoops not to be together anymore. I just feel like there should be a flow that goes with love, because love is infinite. So why is it that, like, if we're together, I just feel like divorce and marriage just, it severs connections in a way that is sometimes so unnecessary, because if you are in a spiritual union, it's two people who can amicably decide, this isn't working for me anymore, and respectfully be like, I don't want to do this anymore either. So, but there's no bad blood. We just both realize that we're together now and we're not making any progress together. We're not lifting each other up anymore. We're not doing anything anymore, but just standing still. And I've said this before too, because I look at life as I'm looking at life as a pathway. If I'm stuck, or if you're stuck and you have no desire to move forward, but I do, but I can't because I've signed a contract that says I won't move until you do, it just feels more like an obligation than flow and love. So to me, marriage is a possessive ideology. And I know there's some people that still are after this title of wife or husband or married. And I just feel like it's a title. I just feel like it's simply a title. Why are you so ready to take somebody else's last name? And some of these people that have the last name that you want to take don't even have a relationship to that last name. They don't even know the father of the person whose last name they have, or, you know what I mean? Like, why are you so ready to get rid of your own identity? You're so ready to get rid of your own identity to attach yourself to somebody else's. I've just come to this space, and I'm talking as a married woman, y'all. I'm not talking out of my ass. I'm talking as a married woman. I love my husband. That is my best friend. We have our issues. We are not perfect, but I just feel like lawful marriage, listen to that, lawful marriage,
worship, lawful,
possession. It's a lot of words. Be very, and we talk about words a lot and spells and everything, but I just don't think that law and love go together.
They don't even sound right together.
They don't go. They're not in the same. They're not in the same book, the same library, the same nothing.
Law don't fit in the bad bitch category.
What'd you say?
I said law doesn't sound like it fits in the bad bitch category.
It doesn't sound like it fits in the spiritual category. It don't sound like it's fitting in the natural. It doesn't fit in the natural order category.
I agree. Well, I don't know, because I believe in like a universal law.
Yeah.
Or like principle. But I feel like what law has become is it has become something to me. And I've realized this recently as well. It seems like it's become something of lack. Yeah. Like when I think of law, I think of lack. Yeah. When I think of, even now, I'm thinking about things so differently. And that's why I also wanted to have this conversation. Because when I think of possession, I think of lack, like lack mindset. When I think of wanting to own everything, I think of lack. And I know, like you said, they might eat me up in the comments for it. They might eat me up for thinking the way that I do. But I mean, it's good to have an open mind about things. I feel like when you feel like you need to be possessive over something, like have control over everything around you, have control over your people, have control over like the way that people around you can move, kind of like monopolize things, like in business. To me, that speaks lack mindset. Because it makes me feel as though you're so afraid of not having that you gobble everything up.
Yep.
So that's how I'm seeing possession. Like if someone is looking at me to possess me, that lets me know right then and there, they're not solidified within themselves.
Yep.
They haven't gone through enough of whatever spiritual connection or self-understanding, self-awareness, therapy, whatever the case may be, to become comfortable enough with themselves to be able to be with themselves and not require another person to validate them.
Exactly.
Like you were saying, like once you learned how to validate yourself when you weren't looking for validation, you realized that possession wasn't cute anymore.
Yeah.
And that's just something that I'm realizing. Like when I think of law, when I think of business, even now, like I'm not talking about like, you know, just like doing things that you love to do because you love to do them. That's a different frequency. I'm talking about business in the aspect of doing shit just for the sake of doing it to get money. Like that to me comes from a lack mindset, because it says that you're so afraid of having a scarcity of things that you have to do above and beyond to just get.
Yeah.
And
what are you
I don't
chasing?
want to I don't want to live like that. Like, and that, like I said, that kind of goes into the hustle culture of things too, and like how we've been taught by this European patriarchal mindset. And I feel like it's just off. It's so different than the divine feminine energy that we kind of resonate in, and like where we're going. It's just, I'm just looking at things way differently than before, you know?
Yeah, I think I don't know if it's hustle culture falls into lack mindset. Like I almost did that with getting this new job and also getting job offers from other places. Like, I know this is kind of going off topic, but like getting my dream job and then it's not paying what a lot of people might consider their dream job to pay right now. But the other jobs that came in with an offer is like, oh, that's actually paying more. Maybe I can do both. But then just sitting back and being like, no, I would rather focus my energy on this that I'm actually passionate about, something that is like aligned with my mission, and maybe, you know, continue to do the other things that I was doing on the side that bring me joy, versus let me just take on both jobs. I know some people have to work two jobs, but also looking at it like some people take on jobs just to have a job, or some people take on a partner just to have a partner. And it's like, what are you lacking within yourself that you feel like you have to have everything? You just need to have it. It just needs to be yours. I need that job because I need that car, because I need that house, because I need this furniture, because I need this picture to show up on social media, and I need to get those likes, and I need, you know, it's a lot around validation.
Yes.
So it might not all, possessiveness might not all fall into validation as much as it is, like you said, a lack mindset, because maybe somebody didn't have something growing up, or maybe they always had something, growing up and they don't want to go without that. But I think it's important to check yourself about why you feel like you need to have something versus relaxing your grip around the need to have something and seeing if it magnetizes towards you. If it doesn't, it's not for you. Why are you reaching out for something that is not necessarily for you as much as you want it to be for you? Do you need it or do you want it? You know, like, I don't know. There's a lot around possessiveness in everything, not just relationships, but relationships is a huge one.
Yeah, facts. And I think like you're pointing something out too. Like, it's just like the idea of like, I don't want to like necessarily go back to hustle culture, but just like the idea of needing something versus wanting something, right? Because it's like, I was having a conversation. I'm kind of hopping around like right now. I'm just trying to formulate my thoughts. But I was having a conversation with one of my clients, and he was like a very well-traveled older man. And, you know, he had been to this country and that country many a time over and over. And he was like, he put something in perspective for me. He was like, you know, that the middle, like average American, like just average American, right? Is 94% richer than most of the world.
Really?
That's what he said. Now, I didn't look into it, but it just made me think about all the like the third world countries out there, and like the, you know, just different places in the world that we've never experienced.
Right.
And it just put things in perspective for me. And I was just like, that's really interesting. Like, obviously I want to look into it a little bit deeper.
Wait, but say that again. He said that the middle class,
just middle class Americans are 94. I believe he said 94, like 94% richer than most of the world.
Okay, so that's where, okay, at first I was like, wait, then the rest of the United States, I don't know what's going on with my brain, but I basically picked it up as the middle class is the best class in the USA, but you're saying in the world, like
In the world,
they're doing better. Middle class is doing better than 94% somewhere around there of the world.
As far as wealth is
world.
concerned. Yes.
Right.
As far as like wealth is concerned, like money.
But then we look at it as like middle class is still struggling because, and it sometimes it's because we're living outside of our means. We need the car that shows that we have a good paying job, or we have the house or something that shows like, oh, this person's doing okay for themselves. When really you might be stressed out behind that car, that mortgage, that rent, that whatever. And it's like, who are you doing it for?
Yeah.
Is it for, like, what is it for?
Yeah. And that goes back to understanding what our influences are. It's always going to come back to that. It's always going to come back to what are we influenced by? I'm not saying don't want luxury and want nice things for yourself. Right. This is not what I'm saying.
Balance though.
Right. It's more so like, where are these influences stemming from? Be more consciously aware of what and how and why we're doing things, and then move from there. Instead of just being like, oh, I want it because I'm programmed to want it. Like, you don't have to, you know what I'm saying? Like, you don't have to be that way. Like, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, I think for me, it goes back to intention versus attention, or living with a purpose versus, for whatever attention. I just, and it takes a while for people to get out of the attention mindset versus living intentionally. And I'm still not all the way there. A lot of people that are in this living intentionally space aren't all the way there, but we're taking the steps.
Yeah. I think it just starts with the level of awareness and just understanding, like, just asking yourself this like simple question sometimes, like, why do I want this thing? Do I need this thing, or do I want this thing? And if I do want it, why do I want it? Just like having those conversations with yourself to just kind of pick out what's fluff and what's not necessarily of you. And you know what I'm saying? And what is just fluffy shit. Like, I think that's the important thing, because nobody's going to be 100, like nobody's out here batting 1,000. Everybody out here getting how they live and trying to figure this shit out as they go. I don't have it figured out. But the thing of it is like, ask yourself the questions, challenge yourself, be open to different ideas of thought, be open to yourself, challenge yourself, have your own level of awareness. Like, that's my thing.
Some people aren't.
That's where I'm at.
There's a lot of people who are uncomfortable with challenging themselves. There's a lot of people that are uncomfortable with other people challenging them and not realizing that it's not coming from a place of malice as much as I'm trying to, especially if you're a friend or a loved one, like, if you really trust me, trust that I'm not saying anything out of malice. If you really if you really trust yourself, whatever criticism comes up about yourself, it might not be out of malice every single time. Sometimes we talk bad about ourselves. We just talked about body positivity. But if there's an idea that comes up, maybe dissect that, maybe find out, damn, like, why do I do the things that I do? Don't just brush it aside and then repeat the cycle. Because,
and I just need to say this. I'm sorry. I need to say this real quick because it's been on my spirit for a minute. And just because, okay, this is kind of sidebar, but kind of not. But just because somebody says something to you, or somebody approaches you, or what's the word I'm looking for? Not controversial, but
trigger.
Huh?
Trigger?
No, anytime somebody what's the word? Confronts. Anytime someone confronts you about something, confrontation is not always a negative thing, first of all. Okay. So anytime someone confronts you or has something to say to you, like you were saying, even if it's not necessarily what you want to hear or how you want to hear it, right? Take it how you will. But one thing's for sure, some people believe that if someone doesn't like them or someone confronts them about something, that automatically means that they're jealous of them, or that you're jealous of me, or you know what I'm saying, you want what I have, and it's like, sis, that's not what this is.
Right.
That's not what this is. I just had to throw that out there because I've been feeling that a lot. Like, oh, you know what I'm saying? You have a problem with me, or you are confronting me about something, so you must be jealous. And it's just like,
But why is that?
That's
And that's another thing to dissect. Like,
not
why do you think that somebody is jealous or doesn't like you because of that? I had a huge issue with that. Like, we all know. Like, I separated from the family because I felt like, well, I was told I was too confrontational, but really, I don't like bullshit. If I see something, I call it out. Sometimes, like, I know, I feel like I'm a morally, like, my moral compass is good. So if it's something that doesn't need attention, I'm not going to give it attention. But if it's something that's detrimental to somebody that I care about and love, I'm bringing it up. And I'm sorry if it hurts you, but can we get, and we talk about this too, like, why do we keep trying to cover up bullshit? Like, it stank. Can we get it out of here? Like, let's just address it and get it the fuck out. Like, let's just not cover it up. And
right.
so and that's where I think that's where a lot of growth happened for me. I had to get uncomfortable with carrying that family, people that I love to my core, didn't like who I was because I was confrontational. And I felt like confrontational, and I feel like they felt like confrontational was a negative thing, when really it's me bringing or addressing an issue that everybody else not to see. So yeah, that triggered me to be like, I was seeking validation from these people because I love them. And I had to remove myself. At first, I feel like I removed myself out of ego because I didn't like getting my feelings hurt. And they might have been right. Like, maybe my confrontation was a little too strong. So taking myself out, and then also, finding peace and solitude in recognizing, like, it's not always going to be other people. Sometimes it is you.
Yes. And that's what I was getting at. Exactly.
Yes. Maybe everybody that had something
isn't wrong.
Yeah, exactly. Like, why do they all feel this way? Of course, there's some things that I don't agree with, but there are things in my solitude and me dissecting, like, either what was thrown on me as far as like an opinion goes, or just maybe me feeling a certain way about me, dissecting it and being like, no, this is a part of who I am, or why am I like this? Let's figure out why this is a thing. Why do I feel? Because I had control issues. I did. If we were planning an event or something, I had a vision. I wanted it to go that way, not realizing there's a whole planning committee. There's a whole committee, girl. You are not the only person here putting in, opinions on this. So why do you feel like you need to control it? Why are you possessing the whole outcome, or like controlling the energy of the whole event, instead of just recognizing there's other people that have opinions, input, whatever that needs to go into this? And it's the same for a relationship. You're not the only one in the relationship. If you like something and your partner doesn't, y'all need to reach a middle ground. It can't just be your way. And you don't always have to compromise, but just knowing, like, possession is a control issue.
Yes.
100%. You want possession over this person so that they will either not leave your side for whatever reason, but if they want to go, why would you want to hold on so tight anyway?
Right. And what is that control stemming from?
Right.
Like, why are you so afraid to release that control?
There's a lot of things that I think a lot of people are afraid to look into. The mirror is a very uncomfortable thing to look at sometimes.
Yes, it
really is. But once you find self-love, I think you can start to appreciate, like, damn, this is a flaw that might need to be transmuted. Like, this is something about me that I might need to change, or no, I really embrace this part of myself because it's something that I need to have to balance out something else within me or whatever. But it goes back to the body positivity thing too, right? Like how I was saying, like, I love to stare at myself in the mirror sometimes just to show gratitude. Having a metaphorical mirror where it's like, this is in your face now about your character or just your personality, period. And really seeing it, because either everybody is saying it now, and so there's got to be some truth to it because everybody's saying it. And then looking at it and being like, damn, okay, so why am I like that? Why do I do that? Why is that an issue for the people that are in my environment? Is it triggering me because, or are these people in my environment and it's triggering me because I need to change it? Or I don't know. There's like a lot of things that go into actually looking into the mirror, and not a physical mirror. I mean, you can, but like a metaphorical mirror. And sometimes that mirror is your friend. It is your partner. It is whatever. And you can't be so possessive over that person that you don't allow them to reflect your energy back onto you. so you can see like this is a demon, like, and demons aren't a bad thing, right? Those are teachers, those are lessons
Mm-hmm.
that are
Mm-hmm.
trying to show you like this is what's going on, this is what's maybe not right. So yeah, I don't know. I highly recommend everybody get you a mirror, whether it's a friend or
Facts.
significant other, but we all need mirrors somewhere.
Facts. And sometimes them be the hard, like you said, that will be the hardest thing to face when you got a mirror that's showing you exactly what the fuck and how the fuck you are. The thing about you that you don't like is showing up in
Yeah.
this person and you don't like it, but it's you. It's like, whoa, 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 whoa. Like,
Yeah.
this is kind of trippy. You know what I'm saying? And this doesn't go for every relationship, obviously, but just the ones that those mirroring relationships, those mirroring situations. So I think that's a lot. That's
But I mean,
definitely a lot.
isn't that where the term "I've met my match" comes from? Because you can't possess somebody that's on the same shit you on.
Come on. Come
You
on.
can't, because they're gonna show you, they're gonna do to you exactly what you're doing to them, and you're not gonna like it.
Come on.
So
It's
yeah,
gonna it's either gonna push you to be better, or it's gonna be fight or flight.
yep.
You know what I'm
Fight or
saying? You either gonna curl
exactly.
up in a ball, or you gonna, I don't even know if that's the right terminology for that, but you either gonna curl up in a ball or you're gonna excel. And that's kind of what it is. And I think that goes back to acknowledging and recognizing and doing the self-awareness. Because
Yeah.
it's like you can't always point the finger at somebody else.
Yep.
You can't always be like, oh, it's you. No, 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 no. It's not always them. Sometimes it's your ass.
Yeah.
A lot of the times, more times than not, it's probably your ass, especially if you're accepting what somebody is doing for you to point the finger at them.
Right.
So if you're allowing that to happen, and it's happening more than once, twice, third, and a fourth, and a fifth, and it keeps happening, it's you. You have to, at that point, look at yourself and see, why the fuck am I letting this happen? How am I continuing to do this cycle? It's you at that point. At that point, you can no longer point your finger at anybody else. They're on their journey and you are on yours. And always remember that. If this person loves me, why wouldn't they do this for me? That's not how that works, sweetheart. That's not how that works. If this person loves me, well, why wouldn't they? Because they are them and you are you. Yeah. And what they are doing for you is from their perspective.
Yep.
And that's not to say that, like you said, it's not always about compromise, but ultimately it's about allowing a person to be who they are, and you either accept them or you don't.
Mm-hmm.
It's that, like, because you can't expect for someone to constantly be pouring into you or constantly doing for you or constantly whatever the case may be, showing up for you in ways because out of love. Like, no, like it becomes very selfish at that point.
Yeah.
And a relationship is not about that. Like, you have to be able to see the person for them, in their body, with their soul, and their whatever the fuck they come with, their full package, and either be able to embrace them how they are or leave them where the fuck they're at.
Right. Not try to change them, because you can't anyway. Nobody's changing until they want to.
Exactly.
How obsessive you are about that person. Like, you can trigger them and you can offer suggestions. You can be a mirror for them so that they can see what they might need to work on, but you cannot expect that you're going to change anybody.
Nope.
Everybody has free will. And so people who want to possess somebody and change them and control them, it's like you're now fucking with free will. So keep that in mind. That's a thing.
And 9 times out of 10, sweetheart, it's not gonna work, sweetheart. It's gonna backfire.
You sounded like your father.
Off. You're gonna piss your damn self, or you're gonna be mad at you.
You starting to sound a lot like your father, man.
And like, that's ultimately, you're gonna be mad at yourself in the end. And it's so not worth it. It's so much easier to fuck with yourself, love on yourself, learn what you like, learn how to be one with yourself, be whole, all on your own. And let that other person magnetize towards you. And obviously use your discernment, because everybody out here ain't peaches and cream. But everybody out here don't want the best for you. But use your discernment. Use your level of awareness and your self-work, and trust in yourself to be able to decipher who the villain is from who the hero is, or whatever, however you want to put that analogy. You know what I'm saying? Who's for you versus who ain't. So what were you saying, sis?
I was saying, but that's the power of self-love. It's like once you tap into loving yourself and pouring into yourself, you'll know, like, discernment is off top. You're gonna know, like, I know what it looks like for me to love me. And so it's gonna reflect back. If I've met my match, it's gonna reflect back to me. That love is gonna come off of them to me. I'm gonna love them to my greatest capacity, and they're gonna be the same for me. Exactly. No matter whether it's a platonic relationship or romantic, familial, whatever it is, trusting your own self-love journey and knowing, like, I know what it looks like to love me, and I know what I am going to accept and what I'm not going to accept from anybody. Like, if you wouldn't talk bad about yourself, you're not going to let somebody else talk bad about you. If you wouldn't restrain yourself from, like, we do a lot of weird shit when we're in relationships or even in friendships. Like, we hide our weirdness, like our weird quirks and shit, or we hide our bodies, we hide our favorite food because I don't want to look like a fat ass. Like, there's a lot of shit. We do weird shit when we connect with other people. But when I'm just like, when you meet your match, you're going to know, like, this person is goofy as hell, just like me. This person wants to eat as much pasta as I want to eat. This person wants to go on a hike like I do. Like, you just start to see yourself in that person, and they reflect a lot of love the way you would for you. So that person is not going to tell you you're a fat ass for wanting to eat pasta, because you would never say, I'm a fat ass for eating this pasta. I mean, I would say that, but the person, so that means that, but that also means if I would say that to me, I'm okay with my man being like, no, you don't need that pasta. You know what I mean? Like, if I know I wouldn't say that to me, I'm not about to let some guy or woman or friend be like, girl, you don't need that. Who are you to tell me I don't need this? I said I do need it. You know what I mean? You start to see, you love yourself so much that, like, you ain't about to talk to me like that. I wouldn't talk to me like that. You know what I mean?
Right.
You just start to know what positive and negative or malicious versus loving energy you pour into yourself. And we can be malicious to ourselves sometimes.
Yes.
So you just start to see, like, I'm not going to let your malicious energy into this aura of mine. Okay, it's not getting in today, not on my watch.
That motherfucking part. You keep that nasty ass energy. Where the fuck is that? Don't bring that shit over here. We healing over here.
Right.
We learning over here.
We healing, we learning, we elevating.
Exactly. And I think that, honestly, as two sovereign beings who understand what that means and what that looks like for us thus far in our journey, we know, like, how that looks for us, like, in a relationship with people, you know what I mean? Like, and how to kind of discern, like, everything that you said, just knowing what to accept from someone and not knowing.
Yeah.
I think that comes with a level of, and that also comes with a level of knowing that you can't own another person.
Yeah.
I think that comes from that, like, knowing that, you know what, I don't own you and you don't own me, and you're not mine to have forever, because ultimately, too, even if you look at it like this, everybody gonna die. So somebody gotta go first. How you gonna have that person? That person's gotta go. So it's just like,
is it death though, or is that when the journey begins?
Oh Lord, here you go. Oh Lord, here we go. Girl. Not you cracking up.
Because I know somebody gonna be like, oh, that was dark.
Morbid. I mean, I kind of took it there and you just ran with it. Bro. But no, seriously, like, I just think that, like, not knowing that you don't own anybody, knowing that no one owns you, I think it kind of gives it more of a free space for everybody to be who the fuck they are.
Yeah.
Like, just come up, show up, be your best self, be the you that you fuck with, so I can fuck with you. You know what I'm saying? And then we don't have to try to do crabs in a barrel. We don't have to try to compete. We don't have to try to one up one another. We don't have to try to do none of that. You just show up like you, the you that you fuck with, and I'm gonna fuck with you, and I'm gonna show up as the me that I fuck with, and that's gonna be what that is. And if I fuck with you enough, and if we fuck with each other enough, even in my moments where I'm not completely fucking with me and I'm having a bad day, you still gonna fuck with me because you know me at my core.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
To simplify it, all relationships, no matter what type they are, you have possessive versus supportive. Are you possessing somebody or supporting them? Are you
Come on.
helping them to grow or are you suppressing them? Like, are you keeping them stalled and stagnant and stale? Or are you helping them nourish themselves so they can flourish? Like, what do you want the best for this person? Friend, family, or lover? Like, what do you want from them?
And when you want the best for them, not the best from your terminology,
Yeah,
but the best for what they feel the best for themselves.
exactly.
There's a
Exactly.
difference.
Exactly. But I mean, I think that's a good spot to like start a relationship before you enter a relationship with as a friend, or consider yourself to be somebody's friend, or consider yourself to be somebody's lover. What do you like, ask yourself, do I want the best for this person? Whether, even if the best is for them to leave me, like, do I want the best for them? Because if I don't, I need to leave them alone.
Yep. And I'm going to get a little bit personal right now, but my partner and I were having a discussion recently where I was like, because we're not always perfect. We're not always 100, and we're all going through our own personal development and journeys. And I feel like at a point, I was at a point where, like, am I the person that I am right now? Is it fostering a good relationship for this person?
Right.
Like, the person that I am right now, is it positive for you? Is it impacting your life positively, or is it hindering you?
Right.
And now I have to look at that, because I love you so much and I love me so much and I respect you so much in our union, that if what I'm doing is causing ill will to our connection, I need to get the fuck.
Yeah.
Like, I don't need to be here, because I don't ever want it to get to a point where I'm resentful of you, you're resentful of me. I can't stand you. I love you too much for that. I don't ever want it to get to a point where we're in this thing and it's hella low vibrational.
Yeah.
Like, I just want it to be on an up and up. Like, that's what I want. And if that means me losing you, then that's what it is, because I want the best for you. And if I'm not that, then I got to take myself out the equation.
Right.
Like, that's how I feel about it. And I think that it's important for us to give that grace to people and love on people like that. That takes a lot of courage, though.
Yeah.
Because that could mean that you could be alone forever. You know what I'm saying? Or not forever, but
why are you
alone
afraid?
but exactly. And that's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like that takes a lot of self just work, transformation, and understanding of yourself, and spending time alone, and knowing that you're okay but by yourself. Like, that takes a lot, especially in this world. Like, to be okay with being alone, that takes a lot.
Yeah.
And I think it could be a very hard thing to rationalize or wrap your head around. Like, damn, could I ever love someone enough to be like, if I'm not good enough for you, like, I want you to be, you know what I'm saying? I want you to be alone. Like, I don't want to bring harm to you. That's when I knew I was growing, because we did therapy and I was like, you know what? My biggest fear, I think they asked me what my biggest fear was. And I was like, it used to be to have my heart broken, but now it's to break another person's heart. That's my biggest fear. I don't want to be the person who makes somebody feel like the bottom of my fucking shoe. You know what I'm saying? I never want to bring that type of harm to anybody I come across.
But does that empathy come from having your heart broken though?
I think it comes from me being who I am naturally, as well as experiencing heavy heartbreak.
Right.
So I think it's the combo.
Yeah, like, but also, yeah, knowing what it feels like to be like broken and feel broken, and like maybe you weren't good enough for that person because you love that person so much and you didn't understand why they didn't love you the same, or whatever the case may be. Just not wanting to be on that end of somebody feeling that way.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
And I definitely think that, like, a part of it came from being on the receiving end of that, like being the person who had their heart broken like so many times,
Yeah.
And then being like, damn. But the thing is, not everybody does that. Some people get their heart broken and be like, well, fuck you and fuck you, and fuck you and fuck you.
Yeah, there's different types of people.
It takes a lot of healing and a lot of like, I don't even want to say the word healing anymore.
I hate that word.
Because I'm still healing. Like, I'm still fixing myself. So it's not done. It's just like, I think it takes a lot of self-recognition and just understanding who you are, and just trying to like lick your wounds. You know what I'm saying? And just trying to like be good to yourself.
That though, like, it's honoring your truth. Like, everybody that gets their heart broken isn't going to become this empathetic person that's like, I don't want to do that to somebody. Like you said, some people might be like, fuck everybody. Then there's people in the middle who are like, oh well, like very not that sounded real stupid, but like kind of naive and like, okay, well, that was just that person. Let me try again with somebody else, and not learning from that experience. But that's your experience. Like yours is gonna be different from mine, from hers, from his.
Right.
Everybody's gonna, pick themselves up
Right.
from an
100%.
experience. It's just knowing, like you said, being self-aware and knowing, like, I know what that felt like. I don't want to do that to somebody else. Whereas somebody else might be like, I know what that feels like, and fuck it, I'm about to go out and do this to somebody else. Like, I don't know why they would do that, but it's not for me to know why they would do that, because I would not do that to somebody else.
Right.
But
and I think that's just a part of their journey, because
yeah, exactly.
There was a point when I was an asshole. Don't get it twisted.
Yeah.
Like, there was a point where I was an asshole, and I'd be quick to make somebody fuck with me and then ghost their ass. I'm like, that's not okay. You know what I'm saying? I would never impart like harm on them, like physical, emotional harm. It's just like, all right, I made you fuck with me and I kind of fuck with you, but I'm good. And then just be gone, and then that be the end of it. And that's kind of fucked up. Like, that's not okay either.
Look, now the Scorpio in me is like, I want to dissect that. Were you doing that because XYZ? But we ain't here for that. So
right. But that's what I'm saying. Like, my nature is not like that. Me naturally is I'm a very empathetic, loving person.
Right.
So I think that on top of having the experiences that I've had, and then deciding for myself, like, I want, like you said, being true to yourself, being true to you, and everybody's truth is different. So my journey ain't gonna look like somebody else's. Like, you might have to go through a phase where you might be fucking other people up. I would hope that you catch it sooner than later.
Right.
But at the same time, that's your journey to go through. And hopefully one day you figure out what you need to do in order for you to feel your best instead of being at your worst. You know what I mean?
This is a good segue into the dessert, because I just sat here thinking, like, have I done that to anybody? And yeah, definitely during my whole phase. I definitely, yeah. Listen, I just had this, I had to think, like, have I ever been in this space where I got out of something and then not immediately, but kind of like moving forward, decided whoever, like the next person that comes along, it's about to be my little plaything or whatever. And then that person developed feelings for me. They developed feelings for me. And then I was just like, boy, I ain't here for that. Like, which is messed up, and that's still my friend now, but I'm just like, damn, I kind of did you dirty. And now I have trust issues to the point where I'm like, are you only my friend because you're still waiting on revenge? Are you that patient?
Not you. Oh, you really in your Scorpio energy with that.
Listen, look,
13 steps ahead.
Look, I'm like, are you really that patient? Because I just know people can be vindictive, like, because I have been vindictive before. So that's why I'm like, okay, I know people can be. So is that what you're doing right now? You have some traits. I'm seeing some traits.
Hold on. Okay, well, hold on. On that note, we might need to just go ahead and
go on into the dessert.
Go on to the dessert. Now, if y'all want to get some of this dessert, get your plates, because we're serving peach cobbler on the other side. So
that what it is? Oh yeah, it's about to be thick.
That what it is?
It's about to be thick.
Peaches and cream. I ain't making that I love you. Let me stop.
Ooh.
Okay, so we're gonna end the podcast here, y'all. Thank you for tuning in, tapping in, coming in, and all the things. All right, but we're about to go over to the other side, to this dessert room. If you have anything to add to this discussion of possession, self-awareness, lawful marriage versus spiritual courtship or love, I don't know. Leave it. Your pimp voice. Your pimp voice. Leave the pimp game. Leave it down below, comment down below, or send us an email, do whatever you got to do. Tell your friend to tell a friend to tell a friend. All the things. And we'll see you guys over at the dessert table. Yes. Peace. Peace.